there, it's Sherry from Cub Scout Ideas, and I wanted to talk to you today about sewing your badges and patches on the Cub Scout uniform. Well, not long ago, I was checking out a blog that Clark Green does. It's called scoutmastercg.com for Clark Green, scoutmastercg.com. When I was reading this blog, I ran across a post that he had about sewing merit badges onto your merit badge sash. And as I was reading through it, I got to just a little short paragraph about hand sewing the badges. And when I read what he did, I thought to myself, if I had known this when we were in Cub Scouts, it would have been so much easier to actually sew these badges on. It would have saved me so much time. So today I'm going to show you this sewing technique by sewing one of my son's temporary patches onto his red jacket that we use for all those temporary patches. So to show you this cool technique, I'm going to sew a Scouting for Food patch onto my son's patch jacket. This is the jacket that I got to put temporary patches on. It's worked out pretty well. He's outgrown it now, but it's still a great piece of memorabilia for him. We need thread that is the color of the jacket. We need a needle, got that. Pair of scissors, some masking tape, and then two little sewing tools that I use. I use a needle threader because I can never get the thread through that little hole in the needle. I also use a metal thimble because this helps me get the needle through the fabric without poking my finger. So the first thing that we're going to do is figure out where to put the patch, and I'm going to put it right here. Take your masking tape, and then I'm just going to pull a piece. I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to tape it down this way, and then I'm going to pull another piece, and I'm going to tape it down this way. Now, I'm going to thread my needle. So, I don't know if you can see, but this needle threader has some really fine wire on the end. What we're going to do is we are going to put this through the eye of the needle so that the needle is kind of connected like that. Next, I'm going to get myself a piece of thread here, cut it off, if my scissors will cut. Then, what we are going to do is we are going to take this thread and we are going to just put it through that wire filament at the end. When it's on there, all you're going to do is just pull your needle off, and boom, your needle is threaded. Alrighty, so I've got my thread, my needle threaded, and I need to tie the ends. I usually go ahead and tie both these together. I know some people just put one strand through, but I like to do two. So I'm going to tie a couple of knots in here, and I'm going to try to make sure that they line up with each other. And after I get the knots tied, I'm going to just trim off the excess thread here. My other scissors were not quite sharp enough, so we're going to use the craft scissors. Now, I usually put the thimble on my middle finger there. I've got my patch taped down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the jacket kind of inside out. And if you look, you can see the ridge of the patch here. So what I'm going to do, and this is what Clark told us in his blog post, is I am not going to sew all the way through the patch. I am just going to basically sew just a little bit on the ridge of the patch. So I'm going to start and just pick up just a little bit of the patch. And now I'm going to check that, and yep, got that through there. Let me do another little stitch. So you can see that this red thread is going through just a little bit of that patch there. So I'm just going to keep sewing, just picking up a little bit of that patch, And I actually use this thimble to help me pull the needle through too, because you can kind of grab the needle with the side of the thimble, and I think it makes it easier to actually, you know, get the needle through without hurting yourself. You can see that there's no red threads showing through. One thing you want to do is keep pulling this fabric a little bit tight here, because you don't want to have a little buckle in your fabric there, a little fold. And you're just going to keep turning the jacket as you sew. So I'm going to show you how I finish this off. There's lots of different ways that you can do that, but this is just the way that I do it. So what I do is I take the needle and go through just like we've been doing, and grab just a little bit of the fabric. But when I pull it through, I'm not going to pull it tight. What I'm going to do is, I hope you can see, there's a little loop here. Before I pull it tight, I'm going to take this needle with this thread, and I'm going to go around, and I am going to put the needle through that loop. So I put the needle through the loop and then pull it tight. So what you'll do is do that a couple times with the loop, and then you can cut your thread here. Get it kind of close, but just make sure you don't cut into the jacket. Gonna flip it over. So now I'm going to take the masking tape off. And we can throw that away. And there we go. I have a patch that is sewn on here, but you don't see the red thread around here, and it was much easier than trying to sew through this very thick edge on the patch here. So again, thank you to Clark Green from Scoutmaster CG for this technique, and thank you to my son Parker, who is serving as my videographer today. If you want more great Cub Scout ideas, check out my blog at cubscoutideas.com. Thanks for watching.